Hello and welcome to my presentation. My name is Mary Henderson, and today I'd like to discuss the artificial intelligence in healthcare advancements and discuss some of the risks and benefits involved with technology in healthcare. Technology touches all of our lives, and healthcare is really no exception to that. Technology is involved in early identification of disease and disease prevention techniques to improve the health care of individuals and communities. So when we discuss emergent technology in healthcare, we have to, consider the machine learning techniques that help with that decision making in the practice. And throughout this presentation, I also want to discuss robotic surgeries, wearable technologies, and even humanoid robots that help in healthcare settings. I found this quote particularly interesting on the recent advancements in emergent technologies in healthcare management systems by Junaid et al. It states that, moreover, there is a paradigm shift or conceptual transition from a reactive to a predictive and personalized HMS. Now, this means that we're moving more into being able to predict healthcare diseases instead of waiting for you to have those signs and symptoms and then reacting to that disease. Before we dive too deep into the individual technologies, I think we need to discuss the benefits and drawbacks of AI in healthcare. We've already kind of touched on the disease prevention and early intervention areas, but it also, with the use of machine learning, enhances the provider's ability to make decisions as well as improve the outcomes for the patients. Patients and providers both are able to reap the benefits of improved communication. Interdepartment communication is also benefited to speed processes for the patients, as well as the patient having convenience. Patients are now able to review their medical charts. They're now able to send communications directly to their providers and ask questions, whereas that was a waiting for business hours to open and then having to typically call and leave a voicemail for a nurse to ask the provider your question. However, some of the drawbacks come with security. We've seen data breaches in the news nowadays. That is putting potential patient information out there in the hands of those who have nefarious intentions. And so keeping that secured is going to be a top priority. We also see drawbacks in productivity stoppages. If the technology doesn't work, it's not effective. Some of the more common issues for especially small rural hospitals or underdeveloped countries could be financial restraints or lack of infrastructure. It takes a significant amount of space, as well as it's a costly investment for those providers. And so those can be drawbacks or reasons that facilities may not be able to partake in these advances in technology. The first example of technology and AI in healthcare that I want to discuss is the use of robotic surgery. This was a U.S. military quest that would allow surgeons to perform the procedures from long distances, and it was initially designed for only open surgical procedures. The first surgical procedure using a robotic technology was performed in 1995, and it was a surgical procedure called a cholecystectomy, or gallbladder removal, with the use of the Mona surgical robot. And this was fascinating because it was the first of its kind. Now, since then, the use of robotics in surgical procedures have increased from 1.8% in 2012 to 15.1% in 2018. Now, that's a significant increase in just 6 years. Some of the benefits of using robotics in surgery include less discomfort for the patient, decreased bleeding risks, shorter hospital stays, and faster recoveries. These benefits also translate to the staff. These can include better ergonomics. This allows the staff to be in a sitting position. So if they're in surgical procedures for hours, that can mean less fatigue, which decreases errors made during the procedure. Saving money is also a big topic when you talk about initial investments in technology. Some of these benefits that you can see lead to decreased readmissions from complications. And this robotics innovation is actually made more financially available because there are assistance programs with the option of leasing the equipment that will spread that financing over a specific period of time and decrease the need for that huge initial investment. This helps the company be able to see profits earlier to help pay for future payments on that leasing program. So the future of robotic surgery involves machine flexibility and digital enhancements. When we talk about machine flexibility, that can be seen in the machine's ability to move more like a surgeon's hands. And the digital enhancements can actually be seen through decreasing human errors, such as maybe a surgeon gets fatigued and their hand begins to tremble. Those slight tremors could have detrimental consequences to a patient when you're talking about a heart surgery. And so these enhancements actually improve those odds and allow for just a safer surgery for the patient. The next example of technology in healthcare that I want to discuss is wearable technology. And I think this quote found on Wearable Sensors for Healthcare Monitoring by Abro et al. Really encapsulates what this topic is about. It says that wearables enable the persistent monitoring of physiological and behavioral parameters, including heart rate, respirations, physical activity, and sleep in settings beyond traditional clinical environments. And that really does encapsulate what this topic is about. We see wearable technologies in our everyday life. They can range from activity trackers to our smartwatches that link to our telephones, even to wearable healthcare devices. And these advancements in technology and healthcare have done wonders for patients. This allows our patients and healthcare providers to monitor health in real time. It can also help detect those early signs of disease or even monitor progression in disease. One of the, I think, really fascinating wearable technology devices is seen in Parkinson's disease. They now make looks like a watch, but it's a device that delivers slight electrical pulses to the Parkinson's disease patient's wrist, and that is to help decrease the amount of tremors or the frequency of tremors to decrease the severity. I've personally seen this technology as my dad wears one, and he's now able to just participate in everyday life because of this technology and advancement. When he does not wear this device, he's not able to really get a spoon from a plate to his mouth. But when he puts that device on, he's able to feed himself, and that has done wonders to improve his quality of life. This allows these patients to be able to go in public without embarrassment. It allows them to be able to function properly in society, without embarrassment, as that's a huge factor when we discuss healthcare illnesses. Another fascinating device that provides a wealth of information is the wearable heart monitors. These provide valuable data to the providers to set a treatment plan for the patients and be able to really see in the events that are happening how that patient feels, what that patient feels, and exactly what their body is doing at that time. So being able to have these wearable technologies has allowed the patients to participate in a more normal life and be able to really thrive despite their illnesses. The last example of technology and AI in healthcare that I'd like to discuss during this presentation is humanoid robots. Now, this is an industry that is expected to increase to $2,777.61 million by 2031, according to Sarah Falcone. So what is a humanoid robot? It's an autonomous robot designed to perform non-patient facing tasks. Now, this does not mean that a robot is designed to replace the nurse. This means that it is a robot designed to greet patients, perform such tasks as gathering linens or delivering specimens to labs. One notable humanoid robot was developed by Diligent Healthcare out of Austin, Texas, and that robot's name is Moxie. Now you can see a picture of Moxie right here on your screen. And Moxie is currently in use in the Medical City facility in Dallas and Denton, Texas. Now, some of the benefits that are boasted with robotics in healthcare is that they're able to free up time that staff can then use to direct towards improving patient cares. And the other that is discussed by Sarah Falcone is that they limit human to human contact, and that is designed to decrease transmission of infections. Some of these robots are actually designed to sanitize themselves upon contact. And I think that technology could really improve areas where we need to decrease that contact, human to human, and to be able to improve patient care. I am particularly intrigued by the ability of the robot to move on those tasks where the nurse is pulled away from the floor, such as delivering those lab specimens. I think that could greatly improve patient outcomes and could improve productivity as well. So I'm interested to see where humanoids go in the future. What is the future role of AI and technology in healthcare, and how do we achieve that? Well, I think that we should continue to invest in machine learning techniques, as those definitely assist providers in making informed decisions, and using the algorithms to really be able to see possible outcomes, I believe plays a huge role in improving our patient outcomes, and that investment should be significant. I also think that there is enhancements that could be made to the technologies that we use, such as the electronic medical records, as well as the electronic health records systems. Continuing to invest in security for those technologies will be significant. Really taking advantage of the technologies in the wearable devices and continuing to expand on the possibilities, as well as education for patients on items such as smartwatches and being able to monitor their own heart rate, and just providing that education to know what those numbers mean, and to be able to see their own personal trends. I also think that robotic surgery continues to be a significant factor in the future of surgical procedures, as we've seen great increase in patient outcomes through those technologies. But overall, I believe that AI definitely has a significant future in healthcare, and I believe that we will continue to see its possibilities expand. Here you'll see the references used during this presentation. I hope that you'll take the time to visit some of these references and continue to expand on the knowledge of technology in healthcare. Thank you so much for watching.